fantasy, no careless product of wild imagination. No, my good friends, these indictments I have brought you today, specific charges listed herein against the individuals, their acts of treason, their ultimate aim of sedition. These are matters of undeniable fact. I ask you now to pronounce judgment on those accused. On this mindless aberration, whose only means of expression are wanton violence and destruction. And the woman Ursa, whose perversions and unreasoning hatred of all mankind threatened even the children of the planet Krypton. Finally, General Zod, once trusted by this council, charged with maintaining the defense of the planet Krypton itself, chief architect of this intended revolution and author of this insidious plot, to establish a new order amongst us, with himself as absent. We have heard the evidence. The decision of the council will now be heard. Guilty. 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 The vote must be unanimous, Jorah. It has therefore now become your decision. You alone will condemn us if you wish, and you alone will be held responsible by me. Join us. You have been known to disagree with the council before. Yours could become an important voice in the new order, second only to my own. I offer you a chance for greatness, Jor-El. Take it. Join us. You will bow down before me, Jor-El. I swear it. No matter that it takes an eternity, you will bow down before me. Both you, and then one day, your ass!
This is my review for Superman the movie. Directed by Richard Donner and stars Christopher Reeve in a very memorable role as the superhero known as Superman. Alright, let's get started. On the planet Krypton, using evidence provided by scientist Jor-El, the Council sentences attempted insurrectionists General Zod, Ursa, and Non to the Phantom Zone, for which Zod swears revenge on Jor-El and his family. Jor-El, despite his uh, thing, is unable to convince the Council that Krypton will soon be destroyed when its red supergiant sun goes supernova. To save his infant son, Kal-El, Jor-El launches a spaceship containing him toward Earth, a planet with a suitable atmosphere where Kal-El's dense molecular structure will give him superhuman powers. Shortly after the launch, Krypton's sun explodes, destroying the planet of Krypton. The ship crash lands on Earth near Smallville, Kansas. Kal-El, who is now 3 years old, is found by Jonathan and Martha Kent, who are astonished when he is able to lift their truck. They take him to their farm and raise him as their own, naming him Clark after Martha's maiden name. At 18, soon after Jonathan's death due to a heart attack, Clark hears a psychic call and discovers a glowing crystal in the remains of his spaceship and compels him to travel to the Arctic, where the crystal builds the Fortress of Solitude. Inside, a holographic vision of Jor-El appears and explains Clark's origins and educates him on the powers and responsibilities. After 12 years of training with the powers fully developed, he lays the fortress wearing a blue and red suit with the House of El family crest on his chest and becomes the reporter at the Daily Planet Metropolis. He meets and develops an unrequited romantic attraction to his co-worker, Lois Lane. Lois becomes involved in a helicopter accident, which I'll explain in the scene there. Our conventional means of rescue are impossible, requiring Clark to use his powers in public for the first time to save her. That night, he thwarts a jewel thief attempting to scale a building using suction cups, captures robbers fleeing police, rescues a girl's cat from a tree, which incidentally a little girl gets slapped in the face because her mom tells her what has she been telling her about telling lies. Somebody calls Social Services. And rescues Air Force One after it loses an engine, making the mysterious Cape Wonder an instant celebrity. He visits Lois at her home the next night and takes her for a flight over the city, allowing her to interview him for an article in which she names him Superman. Meanwhile, criminal genius Lex Luthor develops a plan to make a fortune in real estate by buying large amounts of barren desert land and divides her in a nuclear missile test flight to the San Andreas Fault and will sink California and leave Luthor's desert and the new west coast of the United States, greatly increasing its value. After his incompetent henchmen, Otis and erroneously redirects the first rocket, Luthor's girlfriend, Eve Miss Tessmacher, we all know her, successfully changes the course of the second missile, while the military is distracted by a roadblock Luthor arranges. Knowing Superman could stop his plan, Luthor hires an underground lair, lures him to an underground lair, and exposes him to kryptonite. As Superman weakens, Luthor taunts him by revealing that the first missile is a decoy, heading east toward Hackensack, New Jersey. Realizing that even Superman cannot stop both missiles, Tessmacher is horrified because her mother lives in Hackensack. But Luthor does not care and saves Superman and leads Superman to a slow death. Knowing his reputation for keeping his word, Tessmacher rescues Superman on the condition that he will deal with the New Jersey missile first. And he, of course, agrees. And then she kisses him, and he says, well, "Why'd you kiss me first?" Well, she said, "I didn't think you'd let me. I didn't think you'd let me after." So he flies out of the water and he goes to, after diverting the eastbound missiles to the outer space, the other one aimed at West Coast explodes near the San Andreas Fault, and it is able to mine the effects of the nuclear explosion, getting rid of the pollution from the fallout and shoring up the crumbling earth, but the aftershocks are still devastating. While Superman is busy saving others, Lois' car crashes in a crevice and opens due to aftershock. It quickly fills with dirt and debris and suffocates her to death. Thus, we come to that scene where Superman holds a dead Lois Lane in his hands. Let me go ahead and explain this. He then says, "No, no," and he's crying. You know, he's basically lost it at this point, and he drops Lois on the ground, the dead Lois on the ground. He flies out in outer space, and Jor-El basically warns him that it's forbidden for him to interfere with the course of human history. And he basically ignores this, and he basically turns the world around several times, thus making the time go backward. And he then goes back down to see Lois having car trouble, and he has don't bother, I think it's dead. He says that's the trouble. That's the trouble with having a Man of Steel. He's never around when you need him. And he says, "I'm sorry about that, Lois. I've been a bit preoccupied as of late." So, all right. So Superman defies. Let's see, manipulate human history. Let's see that he preferring that Jonathan's advice, and he must be on Earth for a reason. Like I said, he then delivers Luthor and Otis to prison and flies into the sunrise for further adventures. Thus, we have the ending to one of the greatest movies that Richard Donner has ever done, Superman the movie, and I'll go ahead and give the reins to this particular movie, and here we go.
Superman the movie is a great movie and is, of course, awesome-tacular.
So anyway, this is a thoroughly enjoyable movie. This is actually a very close second to Superman 2 as far as quality and story. I do highly recommend it. Superman 2 I will get to as soon as I can. It's actually actually the best of the whole series. I'm gonna try to get to that probably tomorrow. All right. Well, anyway, just go ahead and hit subscribe. Watch some more videos. Leave thumbs up to support the channel. Go ahead and leave a comment below. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.